drop shippers reign supreme. Shipping cheap goods from China was the dream. De-minimize made it all duty-free, but now that loophole's history. No more packages slipping through the gate. Tariffs imposed, sealing their fate. But for ShineOn merchants, it's a brand new day, with competition fading away. Ding dong, the de-minimized witch is dead. No more rivals undercutting ahead. ShineOn, shining brighter than before. Merchants rejoice, it's time to soar. Oh, it's time to soar. Oh, Shine and Temu feeling the squeeze. Cheap imports halted with such ease. US businesses now have the floor. Quality products consumers adore. No more packages slipping through the gate. Tariffs imposed, sealing their fate. But for ShineOn merchants, it's a brand new day, with competition fading away. Ding dong, the de-minimized witch is dead. No more rivals undercutting ahead. ShineOn, shining brighter than before. Merchants rejoice, it's time to soar. Oh, it's time to soar. Oh. Embrace the change, let your business thrive. With quality goods, watch your profits dive. No more shortcuts, it's the honest way. ShineOn merchants seize the day. Oh, it's time to soar. Oh, so let's celebrate this brand new game. ShineOn merchants rise to fame. With de-minimize gone, the path is clear to success and profits. Let's cheer. Ding dong, the de-minimized witch is dead. No more rivals undercutting ahead. ShineOn, shining brighter than before. Merchants rejoice, it's time to soar. Oh, it's time to soar. Oh, it's time to soar. Oh, it's time to soar. She walks in the room, she's the queen of the day, but you don't know what the heck to say. You need a gift that'll stop time, not some last minute checkout line. You need fire, you need shine, you need a gift that'll blow her mind. A secret surprise in the velvet disguise. You twist that knob and watch her eyes rise. Spin to win, it's a rose on top and a love within. A message card, a gem, and a grin. This ain't no box, it's a legend in a spin. Yeah! ShineOn's got the goods, it's a Mother's Day sin. If you don't sell it, you're missing the win. You sold name bling, mugs and teas, but this is the one that drops them to their knees. You pop that lid, let the magic in. Cue the tears, cue the grin. Put your message card in, let the moment begin. This is how ShineOn legends win. Spin to win. Make hearts melt and bake that grin. Custom words with a twist and pin. This ain't no gimmick, it's a heartfelt win. Ooh, yeah. Let 'em cry, let 'em cheer, let the orders roll in. The rose box is here, let's begin the spin. You feel that? That's not romance in the air. That's Mother's Day traffic, and it's coming in hot. Ooh, girl, I see you scrolling through them product lines, but when May rolls around, you know which one shines. It's that holiday of feeling, that season of spending, when the moms get the love and my cart keeps ascending. Oh, let's get those orders in, let's make that checkout spin. I ain't talking candle egg, but I do love a high margin win. Yeah, let's customize that cart, make them cry in the backyard. And when that rose box turns, it's like cha-ching from the heart. Now I ain't saying she a gifter, but she buying for her sister, her mom, her auntie, her bestie too. And baby, that means cash for you. I like it slow, fulfilling with care, but I ain't mad if we move to express with a flair. Cause when that knob gets twisting and those orders start hitting, you know I'm in the mood for a little profit boosting. So let's get those orders in, stack that paper with a grin. Ain't no roses on the bed, but they spinning in the bin. Yeah, she gets love, you get paid. That's the ShineOn serenade. We're just merchants on the move, but tonight we feel smooth like suede. Happy Mother's Day, Shiny.
Let thou hinder me. Let that order bell. Yeah. Push that product, ring that cart. Yeah. Hit that margin like a work of art. Sell, sell. Rise up when the moment's swell. Spin that rose ship with pride. It's Mother's Day, let's ride. Left out. Sell, sell, sell. Turn that grind into gold so well. Merchants strong, merchants loud. ShineOn fam, stand proud. Let that order bell. Yeah. Push that product, bring that cart. Yeah. Hit that margin like a work of art. Sell, sell. Rise up when the moment's swell. Spin that rose ship with pride. It's Mother's Day, let's ride. Let that order bell. Bell.
What's up? How'd you guys like that? Admittedly, I got a little bit carried away this morning in Suno. Suno is where all those songs come from. It's kind of a cool AI tool. You can generate songs for free, so that's pretty sweet. Anyway, yeah, I got way carried away. I fell deep into the rabbit hole this morning with the music. How's everybody doing today, huh? I saw somebody from Australia earlier. Where you at? There we go. Andrew, what's up? Thanks for joining us from Australia. It must be like close to what, 10, 11 p.m. there? It's a lot later there than it is here. I'll tell you what always trips me out, though, whenever I talk to somebody in Australia is the hemisphere thing. It's like for us, it's April, it's spring going into summer, and there it's fall going into winter. That always trips me out. Just doesn't feel like that should happen. Anyway, what's up? How's it going? Annette, great to see you. Stephanie, what is up? Glad you all enjoyed the music. That's not a knife. Not sure what you're referring. Are you referring to my sword back here? This thing? Not sure. Anyway, you are correct. That would be a sword. What is up from Austria? How's it going? Oh, yeah. It's good to see you. Greetings from Seoul. That's cool. I don't recall the last time we had somebody from South Korea on. I'll take it. That's neat. All right, let me get into it. We've got a fun one for you today, and I've got a few announcements I need to crank through. So I'm going to try to get moving. Moving and grooving. I think we've done enough grooving today, huh? All right, let me drag this. Where do I want this to be? My whole setup here is goofy now because I had to buy. It's a long story, but I had 3 monitors for the longest time, and one of my monitors acted as like a teleprompter, and I could look directly into it whenever I did my live streams. Well, I decided to upgrade my laptop. This was a big mistake because the new laptop I got won't support 3 monitors without going through a bunch of docking stations and what have you, and I still have not been able to figure it out. So total flop on the computer upgrade. So this is what we get. But now I'm trying to figure out my setup here. All right, so we are going to have Mario Menduni on here in a little bit. And Mario Menduni he's a great coach. He's a great mentor for ShineOn merchants. And he has produced a number of successful students. I would say probably out of all the coaches out there, Mario is responsible for more like 6-figure type students than any other coach that I've seen kind of in our space. So anytime we can have Mario on, it's truly a gift, right? So make sure you get out pen and paper for when Mario comes on a little later and starts dropping bombs. You want to make sure you're going to be taking notes. It's great stuff. But he's going to be talking about how the next 30 days could make or break the whole year. He's going to be talking about the incredible opportunity that is Mother's Day and graduation. That's going to be the primary focus. But you also have Father's Day kind of tucked in there. Everybody kind of forgets about Father's Day, but we have platters this year, like barbecue type platters that could be really big. And then watches, dog tags, the Cuban chains, those always do good. For Father's Day as well. Admittedly, it's not as big as Mother's Day and graduation, but it's still something to think about. Let's get into the swag winners. So first up, we've got Kirby. Congratulations, Kirby. Got my first order on Etsy. That's absolutely amazing. Thanks for sharing your win. You've got some swag coming your way. Tammy will be reaching out with a discount code. Next, we've got some tips that were shared by Catherine. She made some really cool videos using Kling AI. I'm going to read this very quickly. I should post here on a new thread instead, but this is Kling AI. Create a realistic video of a glamorous woman with long, wavy. This is kind of the prompt that was used. And you've kind of got to go find this post and watch it because the woman has the, what is this one called? The everlasting teardrop or heart of the ocean or something. It's some big necklace we have in the catalog. Anyway, she like has it on her neck and she comes up and she kind of touches it. It's kind of neat. Mario is actually dabbling. I don't know if he'll share any of this, but Mario's dabbling with some cool AI tools, and he sent me some stuff that's been really neat too. Like we are just so close on the AI front to being able to create perfectly realistic UGC style videos, which is going to be absolutely insane once we pull that off. All right. Who is this dude trying to sell a computer in the friggin'... he's okay. Sorry. He's recommending a computer for me. He's trying to be helpful. I thought we had spam going on. Sorry, everybody. False alarm. Okay, Gary Contreras is also going to get some swag. Just saw this ad from Moon Magic with 60,000 likes. We don't sell jewelry, we sell energy. They're not selling a ring, they're selling meaning. That's the kind of emotional angle that makes people connect, share, and buy. Whether you're selling a message card, jewelry, or personalized acrylics, lean into what the product represents. Love, memories, promise, healing. Don't just sell the item, sell the feeling behind it. Let's learn from this and adapt so our ads speak. So look, this is the phrase that pays. If they feel it's real, if they cry, it's buy. It's that whole thing where it's like people aren't actually buying the product. They're buying what the product gives them. They're buying the experience, the emotion. You know, it's the same thing with like when somebody buys a convertible. It's like they're not buying a car without a top. They're buying status. You know, it's like you kind of got to play the 4D chess game in marketing and try to figure out what's really what impulse is really driving the sell, and see if you can speak to that in your copy and your ads, because they'll be likely to convert a little higher if you do. A great book that talks about this a little bit is called Cashvertising. Cashvertising is a great book, and inside of that book, the author goes into what he calls the Life Force 8. And there are these like 8 kind of driving motivators to get people to buy. You can even Google this after Coffee with ShineOn, mind you, and you can see his Life Force 8 and use that in your marketing. It's really powerful if you're a marketing geek like I am. Okay, thanks, Gary. You got some swag coming your way. I suppose I see Deborah on here too. I almost missed that. So Deborah's here. Canva has the magic editor, one of its stained glass styles. Give it a prompt and it will provide you a stained glass image you can use for acrylic plaques. So 2 things to note. Excuse me. We have seen, I don't want to say it's like a top seller. That'd probably misrepresent it, but we do see a lot of the acrylic style plaques selling, like we really do. And then also, surprisingly, I've seen it work on the graphic pendants, like the dog tags and circle necklaces as well. And I see these kind of sell all year long. Again, I don't want to misrepresent. It's not like they're top sellers, but they seem to be like kind of consistent base hits the whole year. So that's pretty cool. And apparently you can do this in Canva. You just upload an image, tell it to put it in a stained glass style, and out it comes. So that's pretty neat. Okay. If you too would like some free swag, every week we grab 3 to 5 posts at random from the group. We're looking for people dropping milestones, first sale, first one or their 1,000 sale, revenue milestones, or we're looking for tips and tricks and value adds, things like that. If you drop it and we pick you and select you here, you'll get a discount code for some free swag. So that's always cool. All right, let's get into some news. I'll try to make this quick. Hopefully you heard a couple of the songs talking about the rotating rose box, right? Spin to win. That's what this is all about. If you haven't seen this yet, make sure you look in the Facebook group. This box was just released last week, I believe it is. It's got it's like a cube, and it's got a rose on the top, and then you spin this little knob right here. If you can see it, you spin that, and the rose rotates around, and it reveals a message card with jewelry on top. It's a really cool product. This thing was going viral on TikTok. We sourced it in. I think this thing could do really, really well this Mother's Day when paired with the right message card. So start testing this now. I will tell you the message card for this box is a little bit smaller. Instead of being 3x3, which is your standard message card, it's like 2x2. So it's not significantly smaller, but it's a little bit smaller. You can still read text really well on it. I mean, I've held the message cards in my hand. They're still highly legible. I'd say they're more legible and easier to read than like the golf, the dog tags or the graphic pendants. That said, though, if you guys do well with these, we're considering getting the like full 3x3 box for Q4. And then we could potentially have an upsell situation where you have like a 2x2 and then a 3x3, and you can sell one as the upsell. We don't quite know how we're going to handle that yet, right? But I would highly encourage you, test this product out. Look, Mario will back me up on this. Anytime that you can be first to market with a product, or anytime there's a new print-on-demand supplier, it's got something new nobody's seen in the newsfeed before, it can be really, really powerful, right? Because it stops the scroll. There's novelty to it. And with novelty comes higher perceived value, right? People love novelty. So this is definitely worth testing as we move into Mother's Day. And then I also wanted to bring attention to the baby feet. So many of you know Gear Bubble went out of business 4 to 6 weeks ago. I can't remember the exact time. And they had this baby feet necklace. And we had a bunch of merchants start reaching out to us going like, hey, like, can you guys bring these in? Who else has these? And there was no other supplier. So we decided to source it ourselves. Now, the pendant itself is sterling silver, and then the feet are gold plated. So the base cost on this is actually a little bit higher. It's like $16 versus like the 10 on Empire Builder for Love Knot. However, we think you could sell it in the we think you could sell it for about $70, right? So we have these now. So if you were a previous Gear Bubble merchant and you were selling this product and you're looking for it for Mother's Day, we've got it now. And it fits the whole Mother's Day kind of theme, right? The maternity kind of thing. So make sure you check that out too, if this is your style, your niche. Make no mistake, if you're new here, Mother's Day is a huge holiday at ShineOn. Christmas and Q4 are obviously the biggest, but the next up is Mother's Day, followed very closely behind with Valentine's Day. So Mother's Day is a great opportunity if you're new to ShineOn, or even if you've been around for a while, to get some ads out there, test some products, and see if you can hit a winner. It can be an incredible opportunity. So you don't want to sleep on this, right? We've seen the sales already pick up this week. So what day is it? It's Friday. So it was Tuesday, I think. Tuesday, we started to see the sales go up, and we've had day over day increases, a double digit increases, by the way, day over day since Tuesday. So I think like Tuesday to Wednesday was like a 15% day over day increase. And then Wednesday to Thursday was another 15% day over day increase. It'll be interesting to see what today brings, but like Mother's Day has started, right? That's my point. So right now is a good time to get out there and test. Now, granted, results aren't guaranteed. You know, it comes down to your product and your marketing skill and all this other stuff, right? Your results are going to vary, but we're seeing sales increase, and it seems like buyers have been activated for Mother's Day. So I just encourage everybody to go test that out. All right. So many of you may have seen my post about, you know, drop shipping being dead. I talked about how Sheen, I think it's Sheen or Shine, I don't know how you say it, and Temu being toast, right? And I specifically talked about the repeal of de minimis. De minimis, that's this goofy word over here. I don't know if that's Latin or what. But along with de minimis, you also have tariffs. So like, what in the hell is going on? Because it can be super confusing. So yes, China was slapped with some really big tariffs. I have no clue where that's going. I don't know if tariffs are good or bad. This is not meant to be political. I don't want this to get political. But yes, China at the moment has got some crazy tariffs, and they're probably just going to keep going up. Is ShineOn going to be impacted? There's a chance that we're impacted, right? But at the moment, it sure seems like we're going to be able to manage our way through. We found some redundant suppliers. There's also we have an incredible buyer at ShineOn. Her name's Megan. She's just absolutely incredible at what she does. And she has found some clever shipping methods that they don't completely eliminate tariffs, but they reduce the risk to our company anyway in shipping product in. And it kind of makes the supplier bear the brunt of the tariff. I'm not sure if that's making sense, but at least at the moment, we think we're going to be able to manage our way through it. If worse comes to worse, and we did have to eat some tariffs, we think we're going to be able to spread the costs out with the supplier, and then we'll eat some, and then we might have to raise the prices just slightly, but we think we're going to be able to manage our way through with very minimal impacts. But again, I don't know that that's going to happen. At the moment, it sure looks like we're going to be able to sail through. So we'll see. Can't make any promises, but I did want to level set and be honest with everybody. Nothing would happen until like summertime, right? So there's nothing we have to worry about between now and after Father's Day. It'll be probably like June or July before we really have to figure some things out there. But again, I think we're going to be able to manage through. So, okay, that's tariffs, right? That's tariffs. Now I need to talk about de minimis a little bit because it's completely different, right? These are two totally separate things. So I'm going to very quickly read you the definition of de minimis so I don't screw this up. But it's important to understand what these two things are. It's important to understand the difference because you're going to see the incredible opportunity it is going to open up for ShineOn merchants this year. And it is something to certainly get excited about. I will tell you that as a business, we are like, this is almost as exciting as 2020 was for us as a business, the whole repeal of de minimis. So I do want to make sure you understand that. So here is a definition of de minimis that I stole off another website. So I can't claim any credit for this. And it is the de minimis tax exemption is a law that Congress passed on a bipartisan basis that allows shipments bound for American businesses and consumers valued under $800 per person per day to enter the U.S. free of duty and taxes. This is what allows like drop shipping to work from China, right? Basically, when de minimis was in full effect, you could ship a product from China directly to a U.S. residence, and as long as that product was less than $800 in value, it got through customs. Like, it didn't even have to go to customs. It could be delivered to a home address, duty-free and tax-free, right? I'm also going to add one more thing. A lot of those products shipped e-packet. E-packet is a shipping method that was subsidized by USPS, right? Subsidized by USPS, the US taxpayer, basically. That's why you're able to do it for like $5. So you could buy a trinket on AliExpress, ship it to a home address in the United States for like $5. And it was because it was tax-free, duty-free, and we were subsidizing the cost. Okay? De minimis just went away. In fact, I would say it's like what the administration has done is just nuked it from orbit. So not only is the $800 like protective ceiling completely disappeared, that's gone to $0. So every single item now coming from China to a U.S. residence, every single item, as long as it's not free, I guess, is going to have to stop and clear customs. So that's going to add 2 or 3 weeks of shipping. And there's going to be duties that are required to be paid on top of that, plus penalties now. And I can't claim to totally understand the way the new law is written because it's kind of weird, but it looks like you're going to have to pay a flat $75. It's like, again, I don't claim to understand. It's like a flat $75 or $150 duty on every item that comes through. So this just completely nuked from orbit the whole drop shipping industry. Shein and Temu are completely screwed. AliExpress drop shipping is done for. And what this means for you as a merchant, and here's the exciting part. What this means for you, a merchant, is a ton of competition is going to be dropping out of the newsfeed on TikTok and on Facebook. Auction space on Facebook and TikTok are going to be completely open up. And hopefully that means CPMs come down and CPAs as well. That's the best of both worlds. That'd be absolutely incredible. So I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen here, but that's the situation at the moment. The last thing I want to add, and I'm going to move on, is de minimis was always set to end in April of 2025. So this was a rule that I think was put in place in like 2004. Like, it was a long time ago, before the internet was even like a big thing. E-commerce on the internet was a big thing. And it was always set to expire this year. So even if Biden had been reelected, this was still set to end, right? But the whole tariff and trade war and all the whatever's happening right now has like added fuel to the fire. So it was always going to end. Well, now it's not only ended, but there are like penalties stacked on top of it ending. So it has truly been nuked from orbit, right? That's my point. So this is an incredible opportunity for ShineOn merchants. That's your takeaway. Incredible opportunity for ShineOn merchants. I would expect, as we move into summer, CPMs to come down and CPAs to come down. Hopefully, right? But a lot of competition is going to be going away, and that's good news for you, right? So that's why I wanted to do a deep dive on this. Later, we're going to do some Q&A. The Q&A is meant for Mario, right? But if you have a question about something related to this, we can try to get into it very briefly. All right, so hopefully that clears some things up there. I'm going to keep going so we can get Marvin on. Mario, gosh, why do I keep doing that? All right, Joe Robert was kind enough to record an advanced walkthrough for pod use. Now in pod U, if you go over to advanced walkthroughs, in fact, I'll just share my screen real quick for all the new folks here that have never seen pod U, because it's pretty incredible. So here is Pod U. You can get to this right inside of ShineOn by going to POD University in the menu on the left. If you come over to advanced walkthroughs right here in the menu, and you scroll down, you can see we've got all kinds of little deep dives that you can take advantage of. These are all video courses. Mario's got a couple in here that are really beneficial. I'd encourage you to watch. The latest one, though, is from Joe Robert on niching down. So you can click in here. Joe actually spent quite a bit of time on this. I think there are like 4 or 5 videos related to this. Where's it at? Lessons. Yeah, he's got he's got 3 videos in here on niching down. So go check this out if this kind of thing would interest you. It's free education, guys. Well, if you're an empire builder, anyway, it's free. So we're adding to this every single week. Go take advantage of that. Okay. I think that's it. Do me a favor. If you like the value we bring you every single week, if you like the new products, especially if you like how we're educating the print on demand base, if you like our funny tunes at the beginning of these, please go leave us a review in the App Store. We would sincerely appreciate that. Maybe one day we'll be like Printful, Printify, and we'll have a bunch of VC funding and be able to afford a Super Bowl commercial. Until then, we rely on the kindness of people like you. Head over to, what is it? It's apps. There we go. It's staring me in the face. apps.shopify.com/ShineOn and scroll all the way to the bottom and leave us a review. Now, look, I can't influence the type of review you leave me, right? I can't ask for a 5-star review. I'd never ask for a 5-star review. Please know that I wouldn't ask for a 5-star review and get myself in trouble with Shopify's policies. But if you want us to leave us like an honest review times 5, I would appreciate that. Okay. Is that it? I think that's it. Yes, that's it. All right, let's get Mario up here. Everybody ready for me to bring Mario up and kick this thing off? Give me a thumbs up in the chat right now if you're ready to bring Mario up and start talking about how we're going to crush it this Mother's Day. All right, I'm going to get caught up on the comments quickly. Yes, Biden signed it last fall. Exactly. De minimis, rest in peace. Yes. Absolutely. This would be awesome. Cheaper traffic. Yeah. What's up, Steven? So good to see you here, buddy. Yeah, I hope that's the outcome. It's hard to say because, Zuck's kind of greedy. We'll see what happens, though. Apparel gets hit, in my opinion. I think, apparel, drop shipping, everything's going to get nuked. Let's see. He's great. Yeah, Joe's great. Came from his group. Team U had a Super Bowl commercial. Oh, my gosh. How'd they afford that? That's insane. There's like no margin on any of their product. All right, we got some thumbs up. Okay. Mario, you ready? Mario is ready. Bringing him up. Mario.
Hey, guys.
How is it going, brother?
Doing good. Life's good.
Good to see you, man. Where are you at?
You too, man. Still in the Balkans for another week in Macedonia on Lake Ohrid. Then
no big deal. Just still in the Balkans.
Yeah, then shooting down to Greece for a couple of weeks. Cool mastermind down there, and then Portugal for the summer.
And maybe I'll hit Portugal if I have some time. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Until then, Greece, the Balkans. I'm just gonna be hanging out here, dude. You live an incredible life, man.
I like it. It suits me. It's cheaper than being in the U.S. too, man.
Yeah, that is
which is wild. Part. Yeah,
you're like traveling. Is it Airbnbs the whole way through?
Well, I got a steady place here, like on the lake. I got this really nice apartment, right, with lake views. For I can't even tell you guys how cheap it is. It's like what you would pay for parking in the U.S. It's a joke. It's
oh my God, is it month to month?
Yeah, but I mean, I just hand them a lot of cash. Yeah, it's good.
That's incredible, dude.
Yeah
one day,
great. Nice people here, really nice people here. Yeah. Kirsta's from here. Kirsta's from here. His brother-in-law sitting next to me works for me. Yeah.
Oh, really? Do you guys hang out together?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, dude.
A lot. Yeah.
Well, if Eric ever lets me have any time off, maybe I'll come visit.
Yeah. Annette says she's thinking about Portugal for retirement. Yeah, southern Portugal. The whole coast of Portugal is so chill. If you guys want your whole anxiety and cortisol level to go down, I mean, I'm a big fan of Portugal.
That's awesome. I would love to move to Europe. It's a lifestyle thing mainly. Like I love how walkable everything is. Yeah. And also the food just generally it feels healthier. There's something about the food over there that I just don't feel as crappy.
Did I ever show you like a side by side of how much like inflammation I had in the US and then 2 weeks in Spain? I looked like I was stung by a bee in the US versus my face.
We talked. I remember we talked about it. I don't think I saw a video.
Wild. I'll send you the screenshot after
you
this.
should.
It's insane.
Yeah, I totally believe that. Totally believe
sad,
it. Well, our whole, yeah, this is not meant to be about this, but our whole
Well, some
freaking
people are sensitive to it,
stuff.
and I am, but some people aren't. And that's great. But yeah,
Well, like not only, glyphosate is like it's Roundup basically. And not only do they spray it on the crops as like a pesticide, but at the end of the year, like I'm in Kansas, right? I'm surrounded
yeah,
by farms. So I see this all the time.
Mhm.
When they knock down a crop, specifically with like hay, wheat and things like that, um, it's very susceptible to like mold, right? Because they knock it all down, they have the bale sitting around, it can become very susceptible to mold. And that'll come in and it kind of ruins the crop. And what they found out was you hit it with glyphosate even after you've harvested it, and the glyphosate dries it out.
Yeah.
And it will protect it from mold and stuff. So not only does your stuff get one dose of glyphosate, Roundup, basically, in as a pesticide, but it gets a second dose later to like dry it up and protect it from the mold. So it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's
Rough.
it, honestly, that makes
It's
you
probably
feel
like the tip of the iceberg, right? And
no kidding. No kidding. Anyway, so hope everybody's feeling good about your coffee. Hopefully it's organic or else you're about to pay, I think. Are you guys ready for the Digital Marketer's Toast? For anybody that's new here, this thing's magical, makes the world go round. Tariffs the whole trade war will probably, cool off here a little bit as soon as we hit the Digital Marketer's Toast. It puts Zuck in a good mood. It makes Trump put down his phone and stop tweeting for a little bit and listen to the birds outside of his office window at the White House. It's absolutely incredible. People talk about getting sales when we do the Digital Marketer's Toast. A lot of people get tingles from the top of their head to the bottom of their feet. It's a magical thing, people. It's a magical thing. So if you haven't done one yet, prepare to live. Get ready to live. All right. Raise up your glasses, mugs, bottles, and flasks. Join me now for the Digital Marketer's Toast. Here's to more conversions, more cash, cheap CPMs, and lower CACs, to higher CTRs, much higher CVRs, to enable ad accounts and big bank accounts, upsells, downsells, and cross-sells, to winning products and repeat sales, and to the thing that everybody knows, the riches are in the niches, but also your email flows. Cheers, everybody. Drink up. There we go. There we go. Organic. No glyphosate in my coffee.
I like your AI jams, man. I was laughing with the countdown today. That was great.
Yeah, I got a little carried away this morning.
Nah, it was great. It was great.
It's fun. It's just so easy to do. And ShineOn is good enough now that like the songs are kind of catchy.
There's some really funny ones on there too.
Yeah.
Some of the
I don't know if you remember
songs,
it, but like,
yeah.
What's that?
There's some, just if you look at the top songs, there's some really funny ones that are just insane.
I'll go look at that. I don't know if you remember, but 18 months ago, it was trash, dude. It was like the audio was all garbled and it was horrible. But now it's like it's studio quality stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And that cling that you were talking about, Katie, I know her. She's in my group. She studies a lot of AI stuff, and yeah, like it's getting really close to where you can, at least in like 3 to 5 second clips with Kling, you could definitely piece together a 15 or 30-second, like completely usable AI video now for creatives, like where you just literally have the ShineOn box being handed to an avatar and like a woman and what she's doing there. Plus, you saw the prompt I did, or sorry, Dim shaded, where it's like the hands placing the love knot on the card.
Yeah.
So like between what she's got there and 2 or 3 of the prompts I sent you, we could probably put a full workable UGC together next week. It's here. It's just a matter of how many times do you have to prompt it for it not to do something like ridiculous that you didn't want it to do.
I've never used Kling, but it's super exciting to see it finally getting to this level.
Yeah, it's here. If you're just patient enough to prompt enough, and then you just piece it together with CapCut, you got it. Yeah.
What about like the reaction videos? Because the thing, it seems like what's difficult about this is you're trying to show the jewelry box and the jewelry, but what if you just like prompted some kind of reaction video of like a dad giving a daughter a jewelry box?
100%. No, I think the best one we had last week was like a grandmother. There was like a grandmother smiling as the ShineOn Lux box was being handed to her.
Is this in your group?
We'll post, Jimmy, post it in the ShineOn group. Unless you're using that for somebody's UGC. Were you already using that?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, give it away. Post it. We'll post it in the ShineOn group right now.
Was it also posted in your group?
No, I think he was going to sell it to somebody, but like I'm making him give it away for free now.
Well, here I want to see it. I'm gonna share it on the screen here.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to post it in the regular ShineOn group.
Is he doing it right? Is he doing it
Yeah,
like
he's literally typing it up right now.
Okay.
So give him like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Oh.
Cool. Here we'll get to that in just a second. Let's get this post up real quick. I'm waiting for it to hit our queue. No pressure.
No pressure. Find a file.
No pressure, Jamie. Is this your version of Joe Rogan's?
Yeah, yeah. We joke about that. Bring it up, Jimmy, instead of bring it up, Jamie. Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, let me.
Yeah. All right. While he's doing that, I want to get people excited. These next like 2-3 weeks, this is your biggest ROI on time and effort for the whole year, right? Like, especially like if you catch something in one of the major niches, like, I don't know, wife, soulmate, daughter, or even like 1 degree of separation from those, like what you do in the next 3 or 4 weeks, even if it just wins in May or something, or even if it's daughter, even if it wins right after Mother's Day, because one of the pictures we'll show are the Google Trends for graduation. If you can get some traction in one of the major niches, do you guys still do those pie charts of the top selling niches in Podu? Yeah,
they go out every week.
Yeah, so look at the pie charts of where most of the money is, right? Now, I know this group's like super creative, and that's awesome. That's why people got here. But like I encourage you to do 80-20 with that. Like go 80% where the mass majority of the money is and grind it out. And then in that 20%, let your creativity fly. And if you catch lightning in the 20%, you can flip that 80-20 and you can really dig into that unique idea that you had, right? But it's probably just a slight tweak on something that's proven to sell, because like I don't know what you guys do for Mother's Day between ShineOn and maybe other very similar self-fulfilled companies in the space or something. It's got to be at least 20 or 30 million for Mother's Day. And if you figure 25 million of that is in the obvious products, in the obvious niches, like it only makes sense for you to put 80% of your effort in there, even if it's a little bit boring. But that's beside the point of what I started. The work you put in now, you get one winner now, and you break in your ad account, you break in your skill set, you get used to doing tens of thousands of dollars in orders and customer service and hiring somebody, get used to money coming in and out of your credit card. And if it's in one of those major niches, and we'll see, it's like a 1-2 punch. It'll seem like the biggest thing that's ever happened to you, because maybe it is. But then if you look at the whole year and you have this enormous Q4, it'll look like a tiny little bump. And then Q4 will be just like, can be just this life-changing event. And it really, like, I can't stress enough, these next 3 weeks, what you put in now can just completely pay dividends for the whole year, if not your whole life, frankly.
I love it.
He
just posted it. So let me.
Oh, you chose a different one? Okay. It's from Dim. Oh, here's one. Yeah. Okay.
This is. Did you use one of my photos? Is like a. This looks like Yosemite.
We definitely ripped off one of your photos for the.
You definitely did.
Yeah,
those are almost my wife's hands. And
that's true. Okay. So the
I
prompt.
gotta tell you, that's not what I look like.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops! Is it not working?
Did you give him the prompt too?
Oh no, I just.
So in the Kling AI software, people don't know it, you can put pictures and obviously the written prompt too, right? So the picture in this prompt is probably Michael's wife's hand holding the.
I seriously think it is.
Yeah, whatever. We found it on Google, and I knew it was one of the ShineOn ones.
No, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. And then the prompt is something probably pretty simple, like handing it to a woman of a certain age or whatever. But yeah, that's funny. You guys take that. You were camping or something, and this is the background.
We went to Yosemite, and we had just launched the UGC store, so all the boxes had like the green screen message card in it. Mm-hmm. And while I was in Yosemite, I took it was mostly I took video and pictures all over the park. So yeah, this had to have come off of that. If you go to the for anybody that's wanting to do this, I guess if you come over here to the UGC store. So in Kling, is it still images, or can you upload video as well?
I don't know. You do video? It's still images, right? So for example, there's another one where if you put a picture of your finished product, let's say it's a love knot with a message card, it will recognize. You can say, take a woman's hands and place the necklace on the card as the prompt. And most of the time it'll literally do that. It'll just show the card, even though you didn't give it a picture of the card. You gave it a picture of the final mock-up, and it'll have like woman's hands placing the love knot on it.
Wow.
Like the prompt doesn't like the prompt. Katie's way deeper into the prompts, and like she's put her time in to get her AI chops, right? But like even the simple prompts, especially if you're willing to prompt it 5 times to get what you want, and then you just do a little CapCut tweaking, like the simple prompts of something like that are workable.
I'm gonna have to go freaking Jack. Man, you may have just ruined my whole freaking weekend.
Yeah, you just geek out on Suno. You're gonna geek out on Kling. Kling's like super impressive.
Yeah. This is a we can move on, but this is a video I shot when I was in Yosemite that I just thought for sure. No, this was a Pacific Coast Highway. I thought for sure somebody would pick this one up and for like Valentine's Day or something, and nobody ever did anything with it, which was disappointing to me. But anyway. So yeah, that's super cool, but that's definitely my video. Did you see it?
Yeah, Stephen in the chat,
Yeah.
Kling, Kling, Kling AI.
That's cool. Here, I'll just post it real quick. KLING.ai.
It might be .ai.com, but it's Kling. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Hey, let's get into some of this. So, hey, I'm about to share some slides that have revenue numbers on it, everybody. So a couple things I want to talk about as we get into these slides. So first of all the revenue numbers here, we're sharing this for educational purposes only. Your results are going to vary. Success isn't guaranteed to anybody. Your success in print on demand is dependent upon the time you put into it, the effort you put into it, the skill set that you develop, the skill set you bring to the table, probably a little bit of luck, right? Everybody should kind of know that going into that. Results and success is not just going to like fall out of the sky into your lap. You have to work for it. And that's going to go for all of these screenshots we're about to show you. Every one of these revenue numbers, this didn't just come from some newbie that, rolled the dice and got lucky, right? It came from people that really put in the time, the effort, developed the skill to see success here. They outlasted a ton of failure to get to this point. They took coaching from great people like Mario. And that's why we're sharing it for educational purposes only. Someone asked me earlier this week, they're like, I made the comment, I made a Facebook post that the top merchant from last week did 1,800 units in a week. And someone goes, don't mislead everybody. Tell us what the average merchant does. And I was like, okay, you know what? That's maybe a little bit of a fair point. So here's what the average merchant can expect. Probably nothing. Because the average merchant, if I'm honest with you, comes in here, they consume the material, they get all excited about making a store, and they don't do anything else, right? That's like the biggest issue with ShineOn merchants is most of them, I love all you guys. You know I do. I mean this in love. The biggest issue here is that a lot of people just kind of flake out. But they don't stick with the process long enough to develop the skill and to see any success in it. They end up kind of leaving. Now, I don't want to say that's the case for everybody. I certainly don't want to paint an unfair picture. I know there are people who have come and they put in a lot of effort and they don't get it to where they want it to go. I'm not downplaying any of that. However, a lot of people, the average person just doesn't do anything, right? And that's a biggest kind of issue here. So now I got that out of the way. You're going to see this red text on every slide so you don't forget, right? I'm not misleading anybody. I want you going into this with your eyes wide open. You should know the effort and the intensity and the work that's going to be required of you to really see success here. And that should jazz you up, honestly, because it's a barrier to entry. It keeps a lot of people out. So anyway, now that that's out of the way, Mario, do you want to tell us what this screenshot here is all about? And get us into
absolutely. So the screenshots I plopped up there are to talk about, what's possible for education purposes to do right away, right now, like, target outrageous kind of possibilities, right? And then also some of these will show what I talked about a little earlier, which is, it might seem like the biggest thing in the world, or it might be a small success, but it really plants a seed on your skill set level, your optimization, having winning products, winning creatives, and being able to make the most out of like the whole calendar year, then obviously beyond. But a couple things in the chat, it's klingai.com. That's where you guys need to go for the thing we're talking about. I pulled it up on the other screen. So it's not kling.ai, it's kling with a K, ai.com. Yep. And then somebody asked about, did Kling generate that image? No, I stole that image from Michael, where he had a picture of his wife's hand holding the mahogany box, and then Dim Chan, my team, prompted the response for like somebody
Yeah, and
receiving.
hopefully you paid.
I don't know. Send me the bill, man. Anyways, so so I want to talk about today. Like, I want to motivate you guys, and I want to give you, the screenshots here of these sales, as well as there's one of Google Trends. Like Michael said, Mother's Day is the second biggest event of the year, followed by the Q4 season. And yeah, you can evergreen sell anything in e-commerce, family gifts, or what have you. But to take advantage of these massive spikes, back to what I was saying a little earlier, like really put 80% of your effort, in my experience, into the big niches. Because if you're going to be in a situation where a rising tide floats all boats, like the trail's been blazed, right? And you can do very similar products to what we all know works by this point, and you can put your own little spin on them, and then you can develop them with better creatives, and and get your chops up and really catch that wave. And if you catch something that's like truly unique, awesome, and you make as much as you can from it, but also realize, like, if this is your first success and you do something unique, you're going to trailblaze for competition who's also going to help scale you with it. And if you do something unique in a smaller niche, it's going to get tapped out a lot faster. Like if it's like 3 degrees of separation, right? So let's say you have, I don't know, let's use the girlfriend niche. Not that it's one of the bigger ones, but it's kind of easier, right? So you got girlfriend, you got roommate's girlfriend, and you got girlfriend's roommate's dog, right? So each degree of separation is going to get smaller. In reality, there could be wife, it could be future wife, and then the future wife's dog, right? And like if you can nail that future wife's dog, maybe the whole market's $100,000 split between everybody else. Future wife, maybe the whole market, I'm just going to use the numbers, is a couple million. And then wife, maybe the whole market's tens of millions, right? And so when you have something, you see all this people scaling something similar, mom, soulmate, wife, daughter, or whatever, in this time period or in general, then this is a proven business model that works. It's got upsells. It's got different prices for different SKUs. The themes from ShineOn and/or in the community, like in the product pages, and like the whole thing has been proven. It's not like you're just competing against each other. You're competing against anything that's on Facebook, TikTok, Google, what have you. And so it's a limiting belief to think that you have to do something completely unique. Put your own unique spin on it, but it's a limiting belief to think you have to do something completely unique.
Competition is validation. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Competition means that there's a big enough market there to support multiple players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of people see that different. They're upside down on that, but it's a paradox of business.
Mm-hmm. And then when you come into these spikes, like what we're at the beginning of here, there's just so much more to go around for a month, 2 months, what have you. 2 months if we're talking about graduation overlap with Mother's Day. There's so much more to go around, and you can go on Google Trends and you can just see where it is, and then you can look at these screenshots too, because these are for educational purposes, the actual things that actually happen for educational purposes. I'm going to help Michael out with his disclaimers here, right? Because this is educationally what can actually happen, and you can see. As we get into April, and then you'll see some people, some of these screenshots, nothing happened. And then it was like $500,000 in May, right? So it's not like, the other thing is, don't get frustrated if it's like the end of this month and you haven't hit a winner yet, because you can go from zero to freaking as much as you can spend very fast, very, very, very fast. And that's a common experience with a lot of successful sellers in the space.
I know multiple merchants who have done that specifically in Q4. I know multiple people, myself included, that didn't hit a winner until like December 5th. And then had that exact experience where it was like I couldn't spend enough money on Facebook.
Yep.
Because like the demand was so high that I had cash flow problems, which is a great problem to have. Don't get me wrong. Yep. But I had like a unicorn product. But to your point, and I think the big takeaway here is don't give up. Don't give up. Like keep testing until right up to the shipping cutoff. That's the takeaway.
And if I remember your product, because I took your course 5-6 years ago or whatever it was, yours was like a 1 degree of separation, right? It was a major niche that had a 1 degree.
It was to my wife. So
It was straight up to wife. I thought it was like
yeah.
a such and such wife.
Well, I think it was like beautiful wife or gorgeous
Oh, okay.
wife.
It was a straight. So it was a straight up first
Yeah,
degree,
yeah,
first primary
yeah.
niche. Like
It was
awesome.
not sub niched at all.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I will just that's my favorite niche in this whole game is to my
Mhm.
wife. I love it because you hit it for Christmas, you freaking get a second bite of the apple for Valentine's Day, you get a third bite of the apple for Mother's
Mhm.
Day, you get a fourth bite of the apple for anniversary,
Mhm.
all wedding season long from like freaking May to like September, and then
Yep.
you're back in Q4 again. It is by far my favorite niche.
I don't know if you remember, but a couple years ago, there was in July. I had a beginner that was the top seller of ShineOn for a few weeks in July, and it was a wife niche card too, right? So we're
I
talking about these. It was a really ugly one. It was a really ugly card. If you remember that one, it's like really.
You've produced a bunch of winners, so I really don't
Oh
recall.
well,
it,
I'm
but
just
I
talking about
believe
the
you.
wife. I'm talking about the wife
Yeah.
niche in general, like what Michael's talking about. Like there's so many opportunities to make money with the call it a first degree niche, right?
Right.
And I think that's a big limiting belief for a lot of people. I know it is. A lot of people I work with and a lot of people I talk to, that they have to reinvent the wheel, but at the same time, you don't want to extinguish that creativity. And so 80-20 it, put 20% into drawing like way outside the lines and put 80% of your effort into, even if it's a little boring, into grinding out what works and comparing your product page to top sellers. Because you do any product research, you're going to find top sellers. Like run their and work with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is so helpful.
Dude.
Let's say, okay, so I'm going to jump around because I got a whole bunch of notes and stuff I
You're
want
good,
to
man.
talk about, right?
Take it
So
away.
one of the best things you guys can do is go to GT Metrics. Okay, I think you get a couple free queries, or it's like $5 a month or whatever. And there's plenty of other things like that. And have a conversation with ChatGPT about your product page, right? So there's a thing you can do in GT Metrics. You throw your product page in there. It's going to run it. It's going to give you a score, A, B, C, or D. It's going to tell you how long the product page takes to load. It's going to be green or red or things. But don't just go with that score. Click a little tab called Waterfall. I guess I could have made a slide on this. But at the end of this call, you guys can go to my free Facebook group.
Dude,
And I've got maybe 5 hours more Mother's Day specific training in there. And on that, it was last week, we did this live for their product page. So it's a perfect case study on it.
I can do it right now if you want.
Yeah, go for it. So like have 2 tabs up or 2 screens up, run your product page through GT Metrics and hit the waterfall tab. And it's going to show you, I'm not a programmer, so I'm sure there's people in here that know this better than me. And but ideally a product page, not a homepage.
Oh, whoops. All right.
So ideally for that. The homepage is important too, but I don't know what the stats are, but most of your buyers aren't even going to go to your homepage. Okay.
This is probably not a great example because we don't run a lot of direct traffic to this. So
that's fine. Whatever it is, I'll just poke a couple little holes.
Oh, dang it. Did I hit a rate limit on this?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, they want your $5. Anyways, so you go to a product page, run it through GT Metrics or a similar tool. You're going to hit a button called a waterfall. It's going to show you how everything's loading in order and how long it takes to load. It'll be these like bars, right? And you're going to see things that are loading slower than the whole score gave you, right? And there are things you can work on, right? So the common things you're going to see is something it'll say like asset transformation. And that means that the image is too big or missized. I see this in like 95% of the stores, right? It's one of the first things I do when I take a client on. And it's a simple fix. You can either optimize it image by image, or you can spend like $5 on like an app called Crush Picks. And it's literally going to resize, cache, and I'm going to miss this. I'm not a programmer. It's going to make your images load faster. You don't have to worry about it, right? That's a quick fix. There's probably going to be some red lines where there's some broken code. You probably installed some old apps and like uninstalled them and they left a bunch of junky code behind. Maybe you have an app that's not really doing good and it's going to take half a second or a second to load just one freaking app. That's what your whole product page should load at, right? Maybe you're on a theme that frankly sucks, or maybe it sucks now and it didn't used to suck, right? Because these theme developers, people will buy a theme, they'll change it, they'll sell it to somebody else. Shopify will make some new update, and like your apps and your themes maybe don't play nicely with it. Maybe they'll sell it to a new developer. Like it can become a whole bunch of junk, right? But if you stick with one of the free themes from Shopify, like Dawn, that's moving bajillions of dollars, if they're going to keep it fast, but so many people are spending money and time on their sites and they're only seeing what they see, and they just need to go one level down and just have a base. And you don't even need to know what you're doing. You just literally have to, you can take a snapshot of that waterfall, plop it into ChatGPT and say, hey, what might be slowing my site down that I can work on, and how can I work on it? And speak to me like I'm a 5-year-old, step by step, about the buttons I'm going to need to click. Right. And that goes for a lot of stuff, like with ChatGPT. It makes it so much easier now than when I got started with this stuff. But I kind of jumping around topic to topic here.
Dude, I think it's fine, man. Just drop value where you see it.
Cool. All right. Let's maybe gear it back towards Mother's Day, and we can talk about that.
You want me to go to? Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is we can just go through these pretty quick and get to just do Q&A, right? You know, in your StreamYard, it looks like I just see questions from. Oh no, it's YouTube and Facebook. Oh, cool, you guys got that figured out.
Yeah, it's both. Yep.
Yeah, right on. Okay, so here's your 0 to outrageous target, and you can see the trend here. This product popped off mid-April, and then just rode that entire wave, right? And this doesn't just happen. This is you test. You find stuff that meets a certain criteria. In PodU, you've got my basic testing strategy, and I'm sure there's other ones in there too. Follow a testing strategy and a proven one, and just test. When you meet a certain criteria, then you go to work on that product and you progress it. You start doing scaling techniques, or you start doing creative testing, and you just develop. Your product and your creatives get better. Facebook sees that, and it's on the same time that the trend's happening. And it's sort of just like this sort of explosion up of the effort that you're putting in. The people are reacting to your products and your creatives better, and you're riding that wave up. And Facebook sees that that's happening, and it's Facebook, TikTok, what have you. Anything algorithmic is going to see that, and they're going to take better care of you and allow you to scale because it sees that you're improving and people are reacting better, and your conversion rate's going up into the trend.
Yep. Absolutely, dude.
Yeah. My free Facebook group, Todd. Yeah, it'll be at the end. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can just pop through these.
Yeah, it's mostly just like revenue. It's kind of more the same unless there's anything.
Yeah. And the purpose of this screenshot is to show. So, like, if you look at this time period of this year, right, of this client, it was like probably the biggest thing that happened in e-com, but then it just ends up being a little bit of a bump compared to what's available in Q4. And it's not like it's rare somebody's going to do like $1 million Q4 if they haven't had some kind of success before that. Or we can take a 0 off of that, right? Like maybe if you're on a different budget, it's rare they're going to have this like exponential and catch all of Q4 if you haven't hit a winner before that. But of course, Q4 could be your first hit, and then Mother's Day is your
right.
exponential winner. But like you really got to look at it like at least a 1-2 punch when you're looking at the year.
Yeah, like if you're new, you have to understand that the name of the game when you're new is to get your first winner. Like you probably don't want to worry too much about like all advanced scaling techniques and all this stuff, right? Like get your site fast, get it working, get it converting, and test a bunch of different products and phrases so that you can lock in a winner. After you hit your first winner, things change, like because you just leveled up, and then it's time to start thinking, okay, how do I scale this thing to the moon? And that's where guys like Mario can really come in. But right now, when you're new, the section of the process you want to spend most of your time on is that testing and finding the winner. And like Mario's saying, this, like right now, this season we're in, it's a huge opportunity because you have a bunch of buyers activated. And if you lock in a winner here, you can take it into Q4 and potentially hit like some new highs for you. It doesn't mean you're going to get to $1 million in revenue.
Especially if the product is like you talked about with your wife product, whether it's wife, daughter, what have you. If the product is a product that works in the Mother's Day graduation period and works great in Q4, then you're really getting that niche locked down. You're going to have different creatives. You might have different versions of the product. You got your upsells figured out. You really got a big advantage on that particular niche because it's one of the major niches, and the trail's been blazed for like what's going to work and what's going to work for upsells and like, which niches are doing the big numbers for the big events, Mother's Day and Q4.
Absolutely. Real quick, I want to share this. So, as we get closer to Mother's Day, all right. So kind of what you're seeing here is my cursor. Can you see my cursor when I move it around on there?
Yeah, I got a cursor.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so this is from March 31st to April 6th. So this is lagging by about a week. And you can see the daughter niche was the majority of the sales. Now I will tell you that, like, if you look at the whole year, the daughter's niche is the biggest niche we have at ShineOn, followed by the wife niche and then some others, right? The wife niche, by the way, is just behind the daughter niche, but the daughter niche kind of takes the cake. But like, if you look at where we're at in the year with Mother's Day coming, what's going to happen is this whole section of the pie is going to get larger over the next few weeks, and by the week of shipping cutoff, so like probably right as we get to May, the mom slice of this pie will likely be the largest selling niche we have in the company. And the reason I kind of wanted to take a detour and talk about this for a minute is what Mario is saying is you want to be a little bit careful about how you attack the niche. Because if, like, for example, if your Mother's Day, if your message card says Happy Mother's Day on it, right? That's not something you can turn around and sell in Q4, right? Because you're opting yourself out of Q4 by crafting your message card around that. Now you can try the phrase, you can change it to like to my mom and then try the phrase. Hell, you could even like try it to my wife with a similar phrase or a phrase that's tweaked appropriately. So like, it's not like all hope is lost, but it's just something to kind of keep in mind. You want to be thinking big picture here. How do you take advantage of Mother's Day and Q4 if you lock in a winner, right? But anyway, I did want to just bring some attention to that this Mother's Day section of the pie is going to grow as we get into like closer to the actual holiday itself, but then things are going to balance back out again as we get into the rest of the year.
Yeah. And to expand upon that, the message card or acrylic or what have you can be a straight up nice loving message to mom. That doesn't mean that your picture or video ads can't mention Mother's Day, because you're going to be testing a whole bunch of different creatives. Absolutely. And you might have a specific creative that works great for the next 3-4 weeks, but that's not the one that works in Q4. Maybe in Q4 it's the same exact message card, but it's a Black Friday special, or it's a Christmas background or something, right?
Right.
So, but the same product page has been optimized in the algorithm. It's got conversions to that exact URL, and if we're talking Facebook, Meta, what have you, it knows that that's a converting product, and you can build on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Todd here says it's tough chasing holidays. I just want to I want to hear your thoughts on this too.
Yeah.
Like, look, we have different kinds of merchants at ShineOn. So we have our folks that are like your media buyers, right? It's like they're selling on Facebook and TikTok, and very much on Facebook and TikTok. It is kind of about locking in winners and then pumping, like scaling them to the moon during holidays. That doesn't mean they don't sell the rest of the year. We have one merchant at ShineOn that I don't think he has a week the entire year where he sells less than 1,000 units a week. I don't quite know how he does it, if I'm honest with you. He just freaking crushes it all year long. So like it can happen, but for the majority of media buyers, there is this kind of like you're catching a wave during a holiday, you scale it to the moon. That doesn't mean you're not getting sales outside of the holidays, but those are definitely like your cash grabs throughout the year. But then you have a different subset of merchants that are doing like Etsy and Amazon and some of these search-based marketplaces, and they tend to be more consistent the whole year, but they have smaller numbers, right? So it's like if you look at all their sales on a chart throughout the year, it's a lot more flat. Like it doesn't look quite as seasonal like a media buyer. And it's just something to kind of keep in mind as you build your business. I don't think there's a wrong way to do it, honestly. I know that for me and the type of person I am, I like the media buying side a lot more. It's more exciting. I like the challenge. There's a lot there that like I enjoy, but it's definitely not for everybody. I want to hear your take on this.
Okay, a couple
Mario.
things. One, I'm coming from a place of, people pay me good money and I spend a lot of time to how can I make the most amount of people the most money with the least pain with the best possible guidance. And we're in the family gift space. And it's obvious which products sell the most. It's obvious which niches sell the most. And it's obvious when they sell the most. So it would be irresponsible for myself, for a coach, to push anybody with like not at least 80% of their effort into exactly where the vast majority of money is made. Because this isn't, for me, it's not a hobby. This is people's lives and money here, right? So that's why I do the 80-20 thing. 20%, put 20% of your effort in drawing outside of those lines. But like, if you really want to make money with this and have it really be worth your time, then for me, I just can't see it any other way than focusing on getting your piece of where the massive amount of the money is. It's the entire business model. It's not the entire business model, but it's the vast majority of the business model. That's one piece of it. The other piece is really just a mindset thing. It's just a limiting belief versus an abundant belief, right? So I saw a few comments. One said it's saturated. Okay, we can talk about that. And Todd's talking about it's tough chasing the holidays. Well, we can dive into like what's tough about that. Well, if you pull up like a 5-year chart of gift for blank on Google Trends in the US, it's not like you have to chase the holiday. You know exactly where it is. And then also use some of these screenshots here. You know exactly where it is. So chasing it, being tough to chase it, is probably more of a mentality than an actual reality, right? In my experience. And then the previous thing being it's saturated. I've been hearing that. I've been doing e-commerce with Facebook ads for the better part of 10 years now. My first winner, which was my job quitter, was in drop shipping. I literally picked the product that the biggest course, 2 courses mentioned this. I bought the 3 biggest drop shipping courses, 8, 9, whatever years ago. All of them mentioned this one watch on AliExpress as this is an example of a highly saturated product you don't want to sell. Guess what was my job quitter $1 million product at like a 4 ROAS? That. Because it was making sales like crazy. What did I do? I just sold it a slightly different angle.
I also have a story to tell about this.
Different angle. Please.
So my big unicorn winner, the one that just I hit in 2019, I was putting up numbers I'd never seen anybody doing print on demand before. I mean, maybe people had done those numbers before. I had never seen it. And this is where I had my $92,000 day. Now, again, for everybody listening, it doesn't mean you're going to be able to go do that. Your results are going to vary. It's for educational purposes only, all that stuff.
Was that $90,000 day very educational?
Oh yeah, it was. Absolutely, it was. I also had a couple of panic attacks that week because I was spending so much money on Facebook. But so I scaled this product. Like it was my. This was the paradigm shifting product for me. This is the red pill moment for me where I just kind of had my mind blown on what was possible on the internet. So I scaled this product up. I hit it for Christmas. Then I hit it for Valentine's Day. And I thought it's toast. Like I did a few million in revenue on it. And I was just like, the sales were starting to decline. I was like, yeah, it's done. And there was somebody else in the community. I'm not going to say who it was, but everybody knows who this person is. There was somebody else in the community I was talking with at the time, and they were just getting started on print on demand, and they were trying to learn the e-commerce game. And I could tell they were putting in lots of effort and things like that. And they'd even told me they hired an agency that kind of scammed them, right? And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to help this person out. And I gave them my winning message card. I straight up gave it to them. I go, this is the one that I did all my revenue with. Now, I thought that this message card was played out. That was the whole reason I gave it to them. And they took the message and they ran it up as is, like another $2 million in revenue. Then they tweaked. They didn't tweak the phrase. They just tweaked the niche. They went to one of the sub niches like this. So they went from like to my wife to my future wife to my soulmate. They started playing around with that. And they squeezed like another like $5 million out of this product. They squeezed more revenue out of what I thought was a saturated product than I did. So I totally am with you on this. Like I think saturation is in the freaking mind. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know if it's actually a market reality. Obviously,
there's things that are like fads, right? Like we're not going to sell like fidget spinners. Obviously, like went bananas, and then that fad isn't the same thing it was when they first came out.
That's
right?
fair.
But like your business is expanding. Family gift space, like your product catalog, the current products, whatever. Like it's not like people are going to stop buying Hallmark cards, and it's not like people are going to stop buying jewelry for people.
And no one's going to stop procreating. So the family
and
thing
it's
is
you know,
keep...
people, there's new daughters, new wives. Some people
Yeah.
are going to buy for a wife 4 or 5 different times for 4 or 5 different wives. You know, like there's plenty of family gifts happening, especially around the family gift giving events, right? So like, I mean, it's I don't know, the define saturation. Like what's a saturation? 5 years ago, you had to test X amount of products to do X amount of sales. And then now maybe you have to do X times 2 or X times 3 to hit some kind of number or whatever. So like barrier to entries, some things get harder, some things get easier. The market's been cracked. You don't have to reinvent the wheel because most of the money's made with very similar things. But yeah, if you can come up on a different angle or a different kind of product, then you've caught lightning. And that's a good segue. So there's 2 ways to kind of approach this, right? Like you grind out and get good at selling what everybody that's got any experience in the space knows works, right? And you get better at it. You just sell it better than 99% of people. And that's mostly an effort thing. And it's also choosing your information wisely and some sort of like mentality to it. But then the other creativity portion, if we're doing an 80-20, maybe you catch lightning with something very unique. You can't base your whole business off of catching lightning. Because I've seen plenty of people that caught lightning once and they didn't catch again. And God forbid they caught it on like their 15th product. They did something unique and it did 250,000 or 750,000 or something. And then, 4 years later, they're still like hoping to catch lightning again, instead of like having a foundation and at least spending some time where the vast majority of success is, right? And that's a really emotionally tilting scenario to be in as a mindset goes.
Because they never learn the process.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's so I haven't seen anybody that can catch lightning over and over again. Now, worked with plenty of people that grind out the major niches and the sort of the cliche layouts and the cliche quotes, and they make better creatives and they get their ad skills up and their upsells and their optimization up and all that. At the same time, they put some effort into trying out completely new things. Maybe they catch lightning on something. And then when you catch lightning, maybe it's a smaller opportunity. Maybe it's 5% of the size of like a To My Wife niche. Maybe 2% of the size. It's going to get tapped out really quick, maybe at a really nice return. Maybe that 2% will get a really nice return for a small period of time, but it won't be sustainable. If there is a saturation, that lightning you caught might actually catch something called saturation. Whereas the To My Wife message card, I don't know what it would take for that to catch saturation. But
but it just takes a small tweak. Like it's most of the time, I think when we're actually talking about saturation, all we're saying is that it's not novel anymore. Is what I actually think. Like we're saying. I actually think real saturation is probably rarer than we think it is. And I think mostly things just lose novelty. And all you got to do is reinvent the novelty. So it's like you can change the niche from To My Wife. You can try To My Gorgeous Wife, To My Beautiful Wife, To My Future Wife, To My Soulmate. You can try some tweaks there. You can also do some tweaks at the phrase level. You can try the same phrase with a different product. Like maybe you switch from Love Not to Forever Love, for example. Like there's things you can do, but I actually think that most of the time, what we call saturation is just a loss of novelty. And like you just were saying, you can bring back novelty just in the ad itself with like a new angle or something like that. By the way, if you think about it, like print on demand is kind of unique in the marketing space because what we're primarily testing is in a sense like a different product. Like every time we're throwing up tests, it like with a different phrase, it's almost a different product, right? But if you think about a company that sells, what's like a good example? Like if you think of a company that just sells like one static product, I'm trying to think of a good example. But like if you think of a company that just sells one static product, and there are a lot of like one product companies, the thing that actually drives the sales is their only way to test is testing at the ad level. It's like different creatives, different angles, putting together different offers, stuff like that. They can't actually change the product every time, right? So it's a unique space that we're in, and it's an opportunity for us because we get to do all that. So like we have a ton of different ways we can bring and sprinkle novelty back on the product. That's my point.
10-4.
What do you want to do? You want to go to Q&A? I mean, it's kind of
Q&A. I think we got a couple more. I had a couple more slides, but they're mainly just
doing
screenshots.
slides?
If you want to kill through those and then just go straight to Q&A.
Oh, whoops. There we go.
Oh yeah, this is super useful, right? So like always have a
This?
go back to that. We go back to that Google trend. Yeah, this is exactly what we're in right now, right? So like back to the, let's say you have a limiting belief of chasing an event or something. So look at that overlap of the blue and the red from about a little year ago this time, right? So the last blue and red hump, right? The red a little bit to the left of that.
This
Little bit of the left of that, right there. Bam. Okay, so that's where. Nope, that's just the blue one. Give me the big red and blue one to the right of where you're at.
This one.
Bingo. That's where we live. Okay, so this is graduation niche and mom niche, right? And this is the overlap. This is why something like the daughter niche can do extremely well right now. This is how you can make a ton of money right now in niches that can be huge for evergreen and for Q4. And so you see graduations starting to pop, but mom hasn't quite yet, right? The mom cards are just like any minute now, like Michael said. If we look at, years and years of this situation, any minute now, the mom will start to overtake the other niches. So with a very high likelihood for educational purposes, for sure it's going to happen, educational purposes. And so it's not even chasing. It's just like, for me, it's like knowing that a stock's about to go up. Like, would I be testing mom products all year long, or would I test mom products right now? Like, when am I going to get the biggest return on testing a mom message card? Right now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right now. It's like, would I test it right after Mother's Day or, on Mother's Day? No. It's right now. It's like knowing when the stock's going to go up. So it's not hard to test the trends. It's just what's between your ears gets in your own way. And maybe you've been taught otherwise, that you can't do it. And maybe that's a life experience. Maybe that's echo chamber that you're surrounded by, but it's right here. It's right here in front of you. It can't be more in front of you than if you look at a Google trend of the niches that you're in. It's right there.
Hey, I have a question about reading this. I'm getting a little hung up.
Okay.
This just measures interest, not volume. So we're not comparing apples to apples in volume, just interest between mom and graduation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
and it won't directly translate to the products that we sell either. So if you were going to go deeper into the Google suite of products, you could look at Google Keyword Planner and search volume for like very specific things.
Sorry, Mario. Where I'm headed is based on the trends here. It gives the impression that the graduation niche is bigger than the Mother's Day niche, and I don't think that's the case. I think it's just saying the interest, like Google knows where the interest peaks. So, like, say for example, the most number of searches that Google's ever registered for graduation has been like 100,000 searches, right? Ever in like a month. And then what it's doing is, since this is a percentage, it's saying that like 100% of the interest peaks like during this time. And it's not telling us the actual search volume.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Yep. And then for Mother's Day, maybe the average search volume is like the most it's ever had is 1 million hits, right? But since they're both on the same like Y axes and it's pegged against interest, not volume, mm-hmm. right? It gives the appearance that graduation's bigger than Mother's Day, but I really do not think that's the case.
You're right.
I'm
not explaining this in a proper sequence.
You didn't explain that. I picked that up off the chart.
For sure. But this does go to show, like, a lot of people kind of give up on this time period right after Mother's Day. But you have a long selling period for graduation before Mother's Day, through Mother's Day, and after Mother's Day, right? So we call this the Mother's Day period, but it's the Mother's Day and graduation period. And it can be very choppy right around the peak of Mother's Day because it's all going to be like mom and wife and stuff like that. But then right after that pauses, you still have a lot more gifts for who are people buying for graduation. They're buying a graduation specific gift. They're buying a gift for their daughter. They're buying a gift for their son. Right. And so this is where you live. This is your opportunities right now. It's love niche, it's daughter, it's graduation.
Dude,
It's
I
mom.
feel kind of silly. I don't think I've ever looked at these side by side on a Google trend before. Like I've always known the graduation, like the selling period was
Mhm.
long because I've seen the sale, like it's like the sales start in May and they don't end until July.
It's
kind of
got
what it
more.
feels
That's
like.
where I picked this particular chart. It's got more legs than people realize.
Yeah, I'm like I'm feeling kind of silly for never looking at it like this before. There's definitely more potential here than even I realized.
Yeah, I mean, there's the possibility that you, for example, you might have traction with a daughter product right now, then it might poop out on you, and you might give up on it. When literally you should have just relaunched it right the day after Mother's Day, and maybe that's your outlier, that's your winner, that sets you up for the whole year.
Man, I'm gonna start banging on this drum harder every year.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
will also say, I'm kind of just geeking out on the data a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that 2020 interest level peaks right here, because 2020 was massive for these two holidays because of the lockdowns. Now I know 2021 was also huge, and 21 did surpass 2020. Okay, so maybe that makes sense. I'm just surprised we caught
When
up.
you see just the straight up blue one, which is the gift for mom, those are Q4s. When you see the blue and the red,
Yeah,
that's
right.
that's the convergence periods. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't look at that.
For
right.
for everybody looking at this,
Yeah.
just to kind of make the difference.
Yeah. So for everybody this is the time period we're in now. This is like May, and then this is Q4, and then you're
Yep.
back to like Q2, and then Q4, and then Q2 and Q4, etc. Anyway, I'm just kind
And
of
this,
blown away.
if you were to take the red line out of this, it'll also show you the demand for gift for mom. Actually, there's more demand for that, that search term in Q4, although it can be a little competitive because the average order value on a gift for mom product is harder to compete with versus like a love niche and daughter funnel or a daughter to love funnel. You can get your average order values higher on that. But for educational purposes, we did do like an 800K to my mom one year in Q4. So.
Yeah, I remember that. I want to see how Father's Day stacks up here. So
They don't
here's
get as much.
I'm
They don't
trying
get
to
as much.
read.
The dads don't get as much love.
I know. I am expecting that.
You know
Nobody
the
likes
sales on that.
dads.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops! Gift for Mo. For mom.
Also, a big chunk of this business model here is it's women's necklaces. Traditionally women's necklace here. I'm not trying to gender anybody.
No, it's
but
fine.
like from a traditional standpoint here, the vast majority of gift receivers would be a woman's necklace.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't mean that your ShineOn sales are going to resemble this chart because it's how many dads get Cuban link chains, and stuff like and watches for Father's Day. But there's still like a little peak that we see in our sales data. Also, this year with the platters in particular, I'm kind of excited for because you got a lot of grill dads and stuff that you might be able to gift for. But anyway, okay. So this is like it's bigger for Q4 than it is for Father's Day. Interesting. All right. Okay. What else? Do you want to keep talking through these?
This is a great one for you guys that want watch the replay and take a screenshot of this. Like this, you think in mindset wise. Okay, so first, saturation. How many these screenshots were like over 2 or 3 years, right? And you might notice they're getting bigger for educational purposes here. So like whoever said saturation last year for Mother's Day hadn't seen this particular screenshot yet. And this was last Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Right. And then this person ran into cash flow issues. They could have done twice this.
Yeah.
So sure, the saturation, okay, but there's tons of opportunity. Tons of opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, it again, for everybody watching, it takes skill, takes time, takes effort, probably takes a little bit of luck when you like lock in your winner or whatever.
The harder you work, the luckier you get. But yes, sure, luck is a factor.
Success isn't going to fall out of the sky. It's going to take time, effort. You probably need to invest in your education, all that stuff. But this is what an exceptional
The coffee strong. Excuse me.
Yeah. Not choking on glyphosate, are you? No,
No.
you're in the Balkans.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to?
There was one that showed the whole thing happen in May. That one I wanted to point out to people. There it is. Bam. So that's one of Map Oz, right? So like, look at that. The entire thing was done in May. So this is flex.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But also this is the show. Like, don't get frustrated if it doesn't happen for you in April, because like then the same thing with Q4, Mother's Day, whatever, these big events. The last week can be just absolutely life changing if you work hard and you get aggressive and things go your way. So like, don't give up on it.
Yeah,
like
this is
the
like
last stretch is insane.
I'm kind of eyeballing this, but this is like 9 days.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can tell that's 90%.
Yeah,
of
it
the
escalated
revenue.
quickly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's how it is too. I mean, you lock in a winner, and you can double your ad budget every day, and Facebook will just freaking soak it up. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Looking at a few questions here. We got one from Renee or Renea. Sorry if I
Here, we'll
mispronounced
come
that.
back to this then.
Yeah. Best gifts for graduation gifts. The top sellers. Like I'd love to be wrong and something else takes over and it's super cool. But yeah, Love Not, Forever Love, LED, acrylic.
Yeah.
The niches for graduation are graduation, but you're really not going to sell it any other time of the year. But you get a nice couple months of graduation. Graduation specific gift, daughter, son, the people who are receiving gifts for graduation. And if you get daughter or son to work, you have other opportunities for the rest of the year to sell that in different angles for that exact product.
Real quick, Todd says it's last minute shoppers right up to shipping deadlines when I get the most. So remember, at ShineOn, we have express shipping now. Plus, we have done so much to improve how efficient we are on the fulfillment and production side of the house. Our production times, guys, for real. Production. This is like stuff we print on acrylic, cutting name necklaces. We do that in 3 days or less right now. And message cards are 2 days and less. And we think we're going to hold that this whole freaking year, right? Like, we've done so much. Plus, we have priority shipping now. So we at the company are excited because we're seeing 2 to 3 extra days of selling every holiday. This is just going to our top line revenues, right? So like, it's one more advantage of selling with ShineOn as we move throughout the year and hit all these holidays. All right, drop your questions in the chat. Here we're getting lots of questions. I don't know if you've seen them, just about testing in general. Like what can you?
Okay.
What
Absolutely.
advice can you give people about testing and
Sure.
budgets?
Hey, David, by the way. David and I exchanged messages for years. For me, I like to test a break-even amount of money. Like, if I'm going to get one sale, am I going to break even? Right? So my M25, as people coined it, because Mario, $25 a day. If you're looking at like a Love Knot or something like that, spend $25 a day for 2 days. If you're in Pod U, that's in there. But there's 3 very simple rules about this. And the only thing difficult about this testing strategy is sticking to it, because it's the only thing you're going to get in your own way, because it is simple and it works. Okay. I've had people with brand new stores. I've had people all the way up to $30 million stores testing with this. Okay. The 3 simple rules are, to simplify this down even more, you got $25 a day for 2 days. If you get no sales, you turn it off. If you get one sale, you're going to give it another day. What you're looking for is to get multiple sales off of that ad, off of that particular product. Not somebody comes in and buys 2 for daughter. That's nice. But I want multiple different human beings for your $50 to $75. You're only going to 75 if you got one sale in the first 50. Okay. For your $50 to $75, I want multiple human beings actually pulling out their credit card and actually buying your product from your ad. And if that happens, now we call that an outlier and we get interested in it. So this is your testing, your phase 1. You get an outlier, which is defined at multiple sales on that product for multiple people from your advertising. Now we'll take it into phase 2 development, which I think probably we have some copy of Michael's where I went into that a little bit. But I definitely have some free trainings on it somewhere. But the overall, if you zoom out, you test, you find something that's an outlier. That thing is worth putting into development, putting some effort into it. You're going to test variations of that. You're going to test picture creatives, video creatives, and you're going to start to do a more intermediate level ad strategy too, to see if this thing has legs. And ideally you're doing this in a product that's right, that's catching the wave of a trend too. So everything's stacked in your favor.
I love your testing method, by the way.
It's simple.
Yeah. That's and it's cheap. Well, relatively. It's cheap.
If you can, it all depends on like what are you working with and what are your financial goals.
But this is the budget.
Financial goals are in line with what I'm trying for, then yes, it's cheap.
This is the budget I was testing with 5 years ago. I mean, that's what I love about it, is it hasn't, the method really has not changed a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are these, that's exactly what we were just talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, results may vary. How many products do you have to test? How good are your products?
How good are your products? Your
you know, how
seasoned
element
is
of
your
luck
ad
did you hit in 15 products? Did you hit in 500? Right. I think you had one lady on here that did 5,000 tests or something, right? And she's going to continue to win no matter what. Then we've had people that have hit.
Oh, yeah.
I've had
Stephanie.
people. Yeah. She's amazing, right? I've had people that have hit. I've had people that have hit too easily in 12 products, and then they never got a winner again.
I will, look, I also, just because I want to be fully I'll be honest. I mean, I think this is rare, but we had a merchant that did like 500 products and couldn't get anything to hit. And it was to the point where like, I wondered, look, like some of the products were just bad or whatever, but some of them were good. And I actually wondered if there was something going on with his ad account, because it just seemed odd.
Is this recent?
About a year ago. Yeah, I mean, but the testing period was a couple years. I mean, it took a while to get to 500 products. I think that's pretty rare. Like, I've not really heard another merchant run that many tests without.
If somebody's getting slaughtered that bad, I'm happy to do an audit for them.
Okay, it's good to hear.
Maybe it's diagnosable.
I'll touch base with him. Cool. I wondered if it was something with their ad account. That was where I finally landed, because CPMs were kind of artificially high, especially there at the end. But I don't know.
Maybe they recycled the ad account. Maybe the business manager was getting flagged for something. Maybe they're most unlucky person in the world. I mean, it's a mathematical probability that, like I said, the people I've seen that hit in the first 12 and do 200,000 or 500,000 and then never hit again because they didn't work out the muscle of being willing to grind. It was statistically very unlikely that they would hit that easily, as well. Right. So there's going to be on both sides of the spectrum, right?
Yeah. And Matt was 150 or 137? Okay. 137. I always get it wrong. 137 tests before he hit a winner. I will tell you, I started in Gear Bubble, and, I had 75 pages worth of designs in Gear Bubble. Now I hit not a winner, but I hit a product that was like break even, like probably halfway through that. And then I tested the product I had that was break even. I went through like probably 25 or 30 design tests before I actually got it profitable. But I'm saying this because I want everybody to have the full picture here, the type of effort that's actually required to make this work. Right? It takes effort, and it takes trusting the process too. And by the way, the process is not glamorous. It's doing a lot of the same fundamental things over and over and over and over and over again. It's like,
grind. Yeah.
It's like you got this big old fat log and you've got a hatchet and you're trying to cut through it, and it's like, how do you cut through a big old fat log with a hatchet? You hit it in the same damn spot over and over and over and over and over again. Right? And that's kind of the game. All right. See what other questions we've got here.
Steven's using native ads. Yeah, Steven, you always have different angles on doing stuff.
He's a natural born killer, this guy.
Yeah, it's super cool. Yeah.
Do you have any advice for organic growth?
I don't really touch that anymore. Etsy really soured my taste on that, right? Because we had like a 6-figure Etsy business, and the amount of time and money I put into that, and then they just pulled the plug on the message cards, and we were completely message card heavy. That said, let's see, you guys have Sejal and Stephanie doing every other Wednesday, and we
do have Etsy merchants that are doing.
Yeah, every other Wednesday they have a call in Podu, right?
Yeah.
So I'm at at least one of them is in my coaching group too, and I ask her. So I have no problem saying that I'm not the go-to guy for organic. We used to cover it a lot more, but I got soured on it.
Oh,
As far as
really?
organic growth on the actual store, I don't have any methodologies for that. I'm a paid when it comes to the Shopify store. I'm a paid ads guy, but we've done organic to platforms, Etsy and Amazon.
Yeah, Sejal and Stephanie go
Yeah.
live every other Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. EST. So the last time they were live was the 2nd. So they'll be live again on the 16th. So this coming Wednesday.
Yeah, I've been to 1 or 2 of those. I really enjoyed it. So that would be my advice.
These two are awesome. These two are awesome.
Yeah.
They have been working
enjoyed them.
together,
Yeah.
running Etsy stores for a long time.
And they interviewed, I forget her name, but the woman that they interviewed a few weeks ago, when I was on there, I thought it was golden nuggets from her too. So yeah.
Were you on this?
I watched it. I watched one of them. I wasn't on
Okay.
it. Yeah. They got the knowledge in that space. I haven't done the SEO anything organic in this space over part of a year now.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Sophie, it was you. Thank you. I enjoyed your interview. That was really cool.
Ah, there we go. What's up? I haven't watched. I'll have to give that one a watch.
No.
All right, let's see what other questions we have. I'm really not seeing tons of questions. Hustle and Shine, we got a fan here. What's a native ad? Google that one. I don't know that we need to get into that here.
Like Taboola Network. Like, I don't know. You ever go to like CNN.com and it's
Oh,
all these,
all right.
all these like fake stories down at the bottom or something that say tiny little ad, but it's like a news article. That would be
like,
one type of native ad. There's all different types of native ads.
I mean, here, like these are like native ads down here. I mean, if you click into an article, usually, like I'll just go to this one, even though I'm probably going to regret it. Don't make political comments in the chat. I do not want this to be political. Usually there are native ads. Yeah, down here at the bottom. It's all this stuff. But like there are different ad networks that get you placements on different types of sites. And oh shit, why didn't you tell me I wasn't sharing? There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So down here at sorry, everybody. I'm at CNN. I just went to the whatever this article is. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you start to see all the native ad placements down here. And different ad networks will get you placements on different sites. And some sites will convert better for e-commerce products than others and things like that. Steven here, who's been pretty active in the chat today, he loves native ads. He finds all these like freaking niche sites and ad networks. It's like he's got a real knack for that. So he finds some real gold in there, but he loves them. I will tell you that I've always wanted to see a merchant lock in with native ads because I know that native ads can perform really, really well if you get them.
There's an insane amount of inventory on the internet.
And they're not as seasonal either. Also, they're not as persnickety about your accounts. Like you're not going to get banned or something like that. In 1 year, it was like, I think it was in 2020, we saw a merchant get native ads working. And I can't remember what time of year it was, but they did good. They scaled up to 6 figures. It wasn't like 6 figures a day or anything, which I know native ads are capable of. Wasn't like that, but they scaled them up and they wrote it for like 4 or 5 months, and then they like moved on. I don't really know what they ended up doing, but
if they got good at native ads, they might have found an offer that was a bigger market.
True. Yeah, true.
Because it's such a huge amount of inventory.
Oh my gosh.
Mohammed's asking about best-selling items for Mother's Day. Every Mother's Day is different, but if I had to guess, Love Not, Forever Love, and the acrylic, LED acrylic.
Yep, that's exactly where it's going to be. Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm hoping rotating rose box is like a box option, finds its way into.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to say something about that, right? So there's a couple different ways to look at this rose box. One is to look at it as this is a box, different box for a ShineOn product. Another way to look at it, which I think is how it actually be cracked, is that this is a completely different product.
Yes.
That happens to also have a message card in it. And that it reminds, and I think on my last coaching call the other day, I came to this conclusion. It reminds me of a drop shipping product that some people did in my group when I was teaching drop shipping. It was a really saturated product as well. It was a galaxy light. It puts the galaxy up on your ceiling. Okay. as selling the features and benefits of a light that makes cool light in your room and this and that was cool and would kind of work. One of my students wrote a simple line. It was like a quote from a woman. It said, "I bought 2 of these for my kids and they haven't left their room for hours." That went from a 2 ROAS okay product to an 800K 4 ROAS
that is
one.
such.
And the
That's
AOV
such
went
genius.
up by 25% because the headline said I bought 2 of these. So all of a sudden it went from, ooh, cool light to my kids mom can have a glass of wine while the kids aren't in the room for hours.
Marvin, you're gosh, why do I keep doing that, Mario?
Hey, call me Marvin. Marvin moves units.
You're
Hey,
hitting on the principle though at the beginning of this Coffee with ShineOn about like what are you actually selling, right? And what are you selling with the Galaxy? You're not selling a little thing that has a light in it that puts stars on the ceiling. What you're selling is kids will stay in their room and it buys the parents some free time, right?
So
That's
what
what
do
you're
we
selling.
have here? If we look at this as if this is a completely different product, how can we crack this with some different angles as marketers? Somebody's going to come up with something cool and it's going to sell. And it might have very little to do with the necklace or the message card.
Yes,
Maybe.
absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. Well, you heard my whole like Marvin Gaye inspired beat here at the beginning with the thing. Doesn't quite fit for Mother's Day, but could work for like to my wife niche.
Yeah. And that's not to say that it can't sell with exactly what sells with the other message cards. I'm just saying, I have a feeling that the best way to sell it, if not a very good way to sell it, is to view it as a completely different product and crack it from a different angle.
Absolutely. Ooh, so, Sophie says pregnancy surprise announcement box.
Yeah,
that could be kind of cool. Anyway, Tammy went and shot a bunch of UGC. We're going to be trying to edit into videos for people soon, but
yeah.
Okay. Let me close that down. Get us back up. What other questions we got? Mario, why don't we plug your stuff here?
Yeah, sure.
And then maybe move to wrap this up.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Where's my? Oh, hang on. I got to pull it back up. There we go. Where's it at? There it is. Okay. Yeah. So Mario, people want more from you.
Yep.
There we go.
So go to this free Facebook group, click on the guides tab, and I got a couple more to upload, but I got at least 5 hours of training specifically to Mother's Day. So you guys can grab that right away. I'll throw this in there as well. But I got another interview with Michael. I got a free coaching call that I did for everybody a week ago. And so it's that one's great. I got one from last year. That was right before that, that $1.7 million run. And yeah, so I'll continue to throw everything I got on free for Mother's Day into those guides right there. So go to that free Facebook group. We'll let you in. Okay. So that's the free stuff I got, specific to Mother's Day now. And then, of course, I have a paid coaching program as well. That's called the Ecom Performance Mastermind. And you can just either reach out to me directly on Facebook, or you can go to the EPM, the group there, and, apply to join or whatever, and throw your email and phone number in there, and I'll reach out to you about it. And we'll jump on a quick little 15-minute sales call. And you can shoot me an email too if you want, mario@mariomenduni.com. And add me as a friend. Follow me on Facebook too. I'm a Facebook generation, so I don't Instagram it that much.
Yep. Same. Also, I just want to add, go to PodU. If you're not an empire builder yet, like you should, it's an incredible value. You can pay monthly. You don't have to pay for a year. Incredible value. There's tons of education in here. But I'd specifically, especially if you're a fan of Mario here, I want to draw your attention to the walkthroughs. Go to Advanced. Mario has 2 of them here. You can see his mug on these 2, phase 1 and 2 testing, and then testing methodology with Mario. But also Caleb, who is part of Mario's team, teaches on the M25 method.
That's Gina's husband, and then Gina's there too, my sister.
Yeah, Gina's down here in the bottom right. Gina is Mario's sister. for those that don't know. And she's got a lot of good stuff on Etsy. So there's tons of education in here that you can consume from Mario as well. I will tell you before we part, Mario, the reason I probably had him on Coffee with ShineOn more than any other coach. And it really is because Mario has produced more successful merchants like in his coaching programs than I think any other coach in the space right now. So I've had him on repeatedly. He's incredible with testing. He's incredible with media buying and running ads up. He's got his processes really dialed in for testing and creative testing and scaling up and all this stuff. So you're in really good hands by consuming his content and working with him. So I can say that without any hesitation. So Mario, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks, pal. Always a pleasure.
So hey, as we move to wrap up, does anybody want to hear the music again? So anybody want to hear
what? You had like 3 songs in there, right? It felt like
it's 3 or 4. Yeah. Because what I can do, I'll start the if you guys want to hear the music again, give me some music emojis in the chat here.
Whether you do or not, give him some.
What I'll do is I'll start the countdown timer from the top here. We'll go ahead and wrap this up. I'll start the countdown.
I mean, let's be honest. He's playing the music either way, guys. Whether you give him
I am, but like I might just end the stream and I'm just going to listen to it myself. But here's what I'd like in return for the tunes. If anybody wants to hear it, I would like you all to do me a solid, and I want you to go to leave us a review on the App Store while you listen to the incredible jams. So if you go to, oh man, do I have to share again? How annoying.
While you're doing that, a couple people asked about the free course. It's the one that's the print on demand profits with Mario Menduni. Just join that Facebook group. I'll let you in. And then there's a guides tab where you're going to get like 5 or 6 hours on Mother's Day trainings for free.
Yeah. All right. So go to, am I on the screen? No, I'm not sharing. You son of a buck. There we go. All right. I want you to go here, type ShineOn. And then I want you to click into the app here. And I want you to scroll down to the bottom and click write a review. And I just want you to, I can't leave a review because I already have. I want you to leave a review of the app, please. I'm just asking for an honest review times 5. Interpret that however you wish. Unless you're Shopify, I'm not asking for a 5-star review here. We would sincerely appreciate it. Okay. With that said, I'm going to get this going. Mario, thanks so much for coming on, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man, a pleasure.
All right. We'll catch everybody later. Mario, if you hang around to listen, make sure you mute. All right. See ya. Bye.
Yep.
Once upon a time, drop shippers reigned supreme. Shipping cheap goods from China was the dream. Deminimized, made it all duty free. But now that loophole's history. No more packages slipping through the gate. Tariffs imposed, sealing their fate. But for ShineOn merchants, it's a brand new day. With competition fading away. minimize gone. The path is clear to success and profits. Let's cheer. Ding dong, the deminimized rich is dead. No more rivals undercutting ahead. Shine on, shining brighter than before. Merchants rejoice, it's time to soar. It's time to soar. It's time to soar. She walks in the room, she's the queen of the day, but you don't know what the heck to say. You need a gift that'll stop time, not some last minute checkout line. You need fire, you need shine, you need a gift that'll blow her mind. A secret surprise in the velvet disguise. You twist that knob and watch her eyes rise. Spin to win, it's a rose on top and a love within. A message card, a gem and a grin. This ain't no box, it's a legend in a spin. ShineOn's got the goods, it's a Mother's Day sin. If you don't sell it, you're missing the win. You sold name bling, mugs and teas, but this is the one that drops them to their knees. You pop that lid, let the magic in. Cue the tears, cue the grin. Put your message card in, let the moment begin. This is how ShineOn legends win. Spin to win. Make hearts melt and bake that grin. Custom words with a twist and pin. This ain't no gimmick, it's a heartfelt win. Ooh, yeah. Let 'em cry, let 'em cheer, let the orders roll in. The rose box is here, let's begin the spin. Spin that thing, spin. Spin that box.
You feel that? That's not romance in the air. That's Mother's Day traffic, and it's coming in hot. Ooh, girl, I see you scrolling through them product lines, but when May rolls around, you know which one shines. It's that holiday of feeling, that season of spending, when the moms get the love and my cart keeps ascending. Oh, let's get those orders in. Let's make that checkout spin. I ain't talking candlelight, but I do love a high margin win. Yeah, let's customize that card, make them cry in the backyard. And when that rose box turns, it's like cha-ching from the heart. Now I ain't saying she a gifter, but she buying for her sister, her mom, her auntie, her bestie too. And baby, that means cash for you. I like it slow, fulfilling with care, but I ain't mad if we move to express with a flair. Cause when that knob gets twisting and those orders start hitting, you know I'm in the mood for a little profit boosting. So let's get those orders in, stack that paper with a grin. Ain't no roses on the bed, but they spinning in the bin. Yeah, she gets love, you get paid. That's the ShineOn serenade. We're just merchants on the move, but tonight we feel smooth like suede. Happy Mother's Day, ShineOn.
Let that order bell. Yeah. Push that product, ring that cart. Yeah. Hit that margin like a work of art. Sell, sell. Rise up when the moment's swell. Spin that rose ship with pride. It's Mother's Day, let's ride. Left down. Sell, sell, sell. Turn that grind into gold so well. Merchants strong, merchants loud. Shine on, fam, stand proud. Let that order bell. Yeah. Push that product, bring that cart. Yeah. Hit that margin like a work of art. Sell, sell. Rise up when the moment's swell. Spin that rose ship with pride. It's Mother's Day, let's ride.